Hi guys, so I've recently made the switch from Canon SLR to the Sony mirrorless system. I've gone on to the Sony A7III and the A7RIII. I've gone purely prime lenses now when I was using zoom lenses on my Canon. And I've now had it for almost a year, so I'm going to give 6 things that I'm really enjoying about using the Sony compared to my old Canon equipment. So number one, it was one of the main things that pushed me onto the Sony system, is the eye autofocus. It's absolutely incredible. I nail the eye shot every time. I know that the sharpness is going to be bang on the eye. Anyone that hasn't used the system, I'd highly recommend going to try it out. Go into a camera shop, pick up a Sony and see what you think. I loved it. I tried using my Canon glass at first, using a Sigma MC11 adapter. I didn't get along so well with the adapter. I know a lot of people have had great experience with it. I felt like a lot of the capabilities of Sony were restricted. So I quickly moved on to buying all Sony lenses. I've now got the 35mm 1.4, the 85mm 1.8, the 135, which is a Sigma art lens, which is amazing, and I've also got the Zeiss Batis 18mm, which is a 2.8. They're my 4 main lenses. Amazing. They're all, the quality out of all 4 of them is fantastic. The second thing that I particularly like compared to my Canon is the electronic viewfinder. I love being able to see my shot before I click the button. Sounds silly, slightly lazy maybe, but it's incredible. It helps me really concentrate on the final image so much more. I love being able to see my exposures straight away. It saves me looking at the back of the screen. It's much easier to look through the electronic viewfinder, and it's something I really enjoy after shooting on an SLR for 10 years. To me, it's a welcome change. Next thing I particularly like is the lightweightness of the Sony. Is that a word? Lightweightness? And portability. I was on the 5dmkiii on the Canon with 24-70, 70-200. As you know, these are big bodies anyway, with large lenses, with flash guns. There's quite a weight behind them. Now I just shoot with the 2 primes, the 35 and the 85mm most of the day. I have a spider holster that sits on my waist, and it's very lightweight. When I say lightweight, it wasn't that I was struggling with carrying the equipment around. It's more that it makes me so much more mobile. When I'm fluffing the bride's dress up, when I'm moving the shoes, I can just put the cameras onto my hips and forget that they're even there, you know. So it's been a nice change for me, and it's helped me really concentrate on serving the bride and groom the best possible way I can, and being much more mobile. The 4th point I wrote down is the sharpness and the quality of the lenses. The 4 lenses that I use blow my Canon equipment out of the water. I believe them to be much sharper. I'm sure there's arguments for and against this. I'm sure there's websites you can actually compare the sharpness of them, but the images I get out of camera simply blow me away. 5th thing I wrote down was the silent shutter. It is a truly 100% silent shutter on the Sony system. Something I didn't have on the Canon. You could make the shutter quieter, but it wasn't actually silent. It's a welcome change. It's something that Vicars greatly appreciate. If you ever had sort of trouble being allowed to take photos during the ceremony in a church, this could be a sort of swing that may work in your favour, you know. And then the final point I've wrote down is the tilt screen. It sounds really basic, and it's something I didn't realise that I would use. But when shooting from these different angles, the tilt screen actually comes in really helpful. If I'm going for a lower angle, I don't have to no longer be laying on the floor like I would have been with my Canon equipment. Instead, I'm just using the tilt screen, and it's making things much easier. Same if I'm holding a camera above my head. I know with the tilt screen and the eye autofocus that I'm going to be nailing focus every time. So, and also I'm going to be framing the image correctly and not chopping the bride's head off. So overall, I've personally had had a fantastic switch from Sony to Canon. It's been an expensive switch. I'm now at the point where I'm fully happy that I haven't needed anything from my Canon equipment, so I'm actually now selling all my Canon equipment. I'm loving Sony. I'm so glad I've moved over. I wish I'd done it sooner. My opinion is, do it, you won't be disappointed. If you have any questions about anything, if you want to know anything about my switch and why I decided to do what I did, please write a message, please put a question below. I look forward to hearing from you soon.